Well, I mean, yeah, what happened last time? I'm not changing.
Oh, we're jumping right into it. I'm playing MTG. I reinstalled it. And I regret it immediately.
What a loser.
Hey, who to start?
Luckily last time was like, there was a mostly
started with
combat
our ass getting
one.
handed to us by an elephant. And also
no.
You
didn't
say
start with
we
that.
started with that. It's not, first off, we didn't start with that. Secondly,
Oh, wait.
I'm not in that we, so...
We all started having just finished up talking to Lord Telemon. He challenged us to a sort of like a trial to see if we were worthy for helping, worthy to help, I guess. Worthy of his help. There we go.
Okay.
And so we got everyone who wanted to be there for this. Like Poye was off fighting a lion. Erica was off probably gassing.
fighting nature itself.
Fighting
Carolyn was
Gassing
on
what?
fire for them.
Alex, gassing the what?
Gassing the...
gassing a marginalized group
No.
of some kind.
No.
Gnomes. Yeah, goblins. There you go.
Carolyn just said no.
Carolyn did just say no.
But yeah, so all the player characters were there, obviously. When we were deciding who to fight him with, Clinton said, "Oh, why don't we start with the top 10 and go from there?" We're all like, "Top 10 what?" In which case he minor illusioned up a list that allegedly he had found in the officers' quarters. We say allegedly because when we saw that Clint was number 1, we were like, insight check.
That's some bullshit.
And Halbjorn caught his little bro in a lie, and he was like, "Okay, fine. Here's the real list."
I would have had you too for a few meddling kids.
So then Clint knocked himself down to last place after Iselin.
Yeah, in retrospect, there was another... I was gonna put DQ on the bottom for Clint and Iselin, and I got rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I forgot to move myself around. Like, in truth, I was like, yeah, DQ. Like, they wouldn't use DQ. And I just sort of forgot about it. So, not my best lie.
And then a number of us were like, that's also bullshit.
Yeah. Halbjorn said, "Oh, we'll talk about this later," and I totally forgot about that, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
For a second, the real list flashed, or I guess what we can assume is the real list. That had Clint in 5th place.
Yeah.
Knocking Poye down to 6th place, which is all I remember. But anyway, so we narrowed it down. Lucian didn't want to participate, neither did Clint. So we went. What was it? It was Gregor, Halbjorn, Bradford, and then the
Briggy Caster.
the big 3. Yeah, Briggy Caster and Doran.
Did you say the big 3?
The big 3. If anyone of our class had to be like the 3 protagonists, it wouldn't just be Caster. It would be Caster, Doran, and Briggy, right? The big 3.
Big caster energy.
He's not wrong.
Well, anime do typically follow a 3-man troop.
Exactly.
One of them is generally a girl, too.
Mm-hmm. That's
See?
Misty.
Huh.
Call Briggy
Okay.
Misty. Gotcha.
I guess that makes Doran Brock.
No, actually, no, I take that back. Caster will be Misty.
Yeah, if we're using that as the
Except
Fuck
baseline,
broke Caster's bike.
Briggy is far more like a Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puts the rock in Brock, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, we started the fight. We squared up. For the most part, I mean, at first it looked like we were just gonna fight Telemon and a weird bear-like man, a panda. But the panda man went off to the side, and then started playing like a flute, I think it was, some kind of wind instrument, which then summoned 3 more people, like ancestral guardians or spirits or something like that. and the fight began. And immediately, Lord Telamon fucking backpedaled, or like did a quick jump back into the tree line. And next we saw, he was coming out of that tree line on the back of an animal none of us had seen before, an elephant. And yeah, for the most part, I don't even think like we killed a single one of the spirit guys.
No, we
But,
just kind of put him in a box with Briggy and said, "That'll do."
Yeah, they did their best, but she is a fucking walking, talking keep. She is invincible. But yeah, at one point, Bradford did go down, and the Panda Man was coming to like take him out of the fight. When someone healed him, who was it? Doran brought him back to his feet. What else happened in the fight worth mentioning? Invincible.
So we did like spot all the magical items that Lord Telamon had sporting, like the banner, the saddle, and all that.
He was also using a practice bow the entire time.
He was using a practice bow because, per his words, the artifact bow, I think is what they called it, isn't meant to be used on people.
Right.
What a G.
Yeah. I guess the only thing worth mentioning is the fight ended when Caster closed the distance, knocked him down to like I think there's 2 HP. After Marseille, the elephant's name? Marcellos. After Marcellos was like downed.
You veered him. You drove.
Yeah. Halbjorn tried to run him down with his own car. I mean, elephant.
You Tokyo drifted an elephant at him, and he said, and jumped on top of the elephant.
Yeah. And that's all I remember about this whole cover for now. Because
That's solid coverage.
yeah, I went AFK after the fight for a bit.
Fair.
When I
Nothing
came
else.
back, Clint was attacking someone. Innocent man.
Oh, that's act shit. After the fight, yeah, like Lord Telamon agreed to help us. I introduced you guys to Adrian, good old mentor Adrian, Leonidas, and then I pieced out to go to the Merchant's Row, and Briggy chased after me. And then we're trying to get information. I still don't know how far we actually accomplished that, or rather, before we're beating up an innocent person, and then Lucian showing up and us getting a spyglass of dubious origin. We got him his
Like a
ACOG.
4x scope, I think.
ACOG.
Or 2x?
I actually think it's 2 times because that's what the book is.
Okay, yeah, 2x then. And then it was the next day.
Was the next day.
Was the
And we
next
definitely
day?
Didn't have a series of weird dreams. Definitely.
What?
We definitely didn't have, like, 4 of us have weird dreams. That we know of.
Yeah, totally didn't.
Definitely not.
You're lying.
Seeing as, hey, seeing you're bringing it up, why don't you explain them?
Definitely not some strange world in darkness where the only light was sparks from an anvil that was working on working on a mall that was then
mall
having
made of a bunch of other weapons.
I'm getting to it. Yeah, working on a mall that was having other weapons added to it. And oh yeah, that's what it was. And then we heard the scraping of the weapon drawing closer, and as it's like right next to us, we awaken. Which is great. It's fantastic. It kind of gets brought up in conversation because of Gregor asking. I can't remember exactly who he asks. I think it might have been Doran. He asked like, "Hey, would this weapon be of any importance?" Then we're all like, "Hey, you saw that too. Wait a second." Maven shows up after that, or Maven shows up before that. And the talk about the dream kind of gets pushed off to the side by Briggy, who just kind of wants to skip the conversation. And after some insight checks, one or two of us, Gregor was one of them, kind of noticed that, as stoic as she is, she's not handling the conversation of dreams very well. As we head to the courtroom, Maven kind of informs us, like, roughly about the situation, as well as their viewpoints of, like, Riker does some great shit, and he's probably the only one that can best me, but also we have rules for a reason. So, we'll see how that pans out. We get to the courtroom, in quotation marks. It is a courtroom, it's just far more grandiose than I would have ever expected for a courtroom. Where we see these three figures, like these lads or lasses, I can't really tell. This one might be a lass. Yeah, along with a number of other people. This spot was empty. It didn't stay empty for long, as the nobleman that was supposed to be there got unfortunately sick. So, our kind lord here decided to take his spot. We also get some information dropped about Maven's friggin' noble line, but that's not important right now. As everything goes, or starts kicking off, I believe Seven brings in Riker, which we see Riker for the first time without his helmet. Turns out he's a hobgoblin. Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
It's been a long week.
Called a gobhoblin, considering how there is a no-bog.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long week and I'm very tired. Which also, well, it comes up in questioning. They question Riker, his motives, and what he might have actually been doing for this mission, with the insinuation that it was a much more self-motivated goal, because his last name is actually Karlov. So the idea is that maybe he is related to the hobgoblins that were in fact on that mountain, that are now horrifying monstrosities. So you can see the connections and ideas there. But also, there's other points of just like, yeah, he wasn't entirely alone, but he was, but there's a lot of back and forth. And we kind of ended as all of us were about to give our various different testimonies. And hopefully it'll be good. I hate you so fucking much. I think that's about it. I have written down in my notes, anime boy shows up. Oh, it's Maven. Just a fun fact.
You don't gotta do him dirty like that.
I mean, look at him. It could be worse.
He is a pretty man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another point. Is like
Look at this pretty man.
As much as I say like he looks like an anime boy, there was a note of he is decently, I think like 30s, mid 30s or something like that, but he does look a lot younger. But also like race and probably just ages slower. Oh, here's a bunch of shit. Selfishly driven, plan of failure, fought this. As a small note, for casualties, everyone besides the obvious one died, and it comes out to about 235 people died. Rough estimates. Just in case that affects people's perspectives on this whole thing. If it was selfishly driven just to take out this thing, it came at the cost of a lot of people. So, whatever. That's about all I got.
I feel like that's pretty succinct.
Decently. There was a lot of points that these guys brought up that I didn't detail out a lot, but I kind of remember them. But it's one of those things of like I remember it, but I don't know how to describe it. You know.
Yeah, so that is a good point.
There was one point I remember where when Lord Telemon took the place, Maven looked back at us like, "What did you do?" And Gregor's like, "I didn't do anything."
What?
Yeah, Maven seemed to have had some vague knowledge that we might have done something to take matters into our own hands, and admonished us for having done so.
Can't prove it in court.
Can't prove it in court, though.
Well, we're gonna find out because we're in court.
To the defense, if he ate food that randomly showed up as a gift, anyways, it's his own fault.
He was asking for it.
Yeah, Your Honor. He's basically asking to get poisoned.
Look at the way he's dressed.
He eats food off the ground walking through the street randomly. Kate's closed, Your Honor.
Very cool. So I feel like that's it.
Probably.
I think so.
Probably. Oh, most importantly, Poye did not win the fight with the lion. That's it.
No, he got mocked.
He got stomped. Anyways.
Yeah, completely waffle. So as you have sat here and sort of heard the opening bits of this argument, Riker's given his story. They have made some counterpoints. For the next part, though, you are all asked to leave as Julius steps up.
We're asked to leave.
Correct. Asked is a generous term. Told.
You're
You're
instructed
going to
leave.
leave politely.
You do know that even though Seven is like here, he's not inside.
So he hasn't crossed the threshold, so to speak.
Correct. Yeah, he's sort of on the outs with y'all.
Huh. Oh. There he is. It's the guy.
The dude.
That's the boy.
That's good art. Imagine
Get rid of
Prince
the
of Persia.
tribal tats.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Oh, cool. Yo, what tribe is 7 from?
Kappa, Kappa, Kappa.
They're from the Las Vegas
that's-
tribe because he's always getting 7s.
Boo.
So, do y'all do anything as you sort of wait for this account to take place?
I think Quinn would probably be the last one out if Julius is the one taking the stand.
Mm-hmm.
He is, and I will say, since this is really the first time you've seen Julius out of his armor, he is, there's something about him that just looks off.
Off?
Yeah, maybe it's the unnatural color of his eyes, the way they said, but something about him just seems off.
Is there any kind of check we could attempt to pin down why?
Yes, absolutely. I will allow religion or arcana.
I don't think
Flint
I'm trained in
has
either.
seen Julius without his helmet before. Can I just see if he looks any different?
He looks the same.
Oh my god.
Look at that nat 20.
Yeah, I rolled a 13.
Holy shit.
But also, that fucking nat 20, bud. Your time with him has paid off in dividends.
Okay, so I will say this. As you were leaving and Holger, you notice him, he looks over and notices you noticing him.
Don't recognize is real.
And as he does, you know something isn't wholly human about him. And you get the feeling that he knows you know that.
For a moment, his eyes will like flicker over to the archway over here, and then immediately meet his unnatural eyes again, and gives him a very small nod, as if like, I would like to talk later. But he leaves.
Gotcha. As you all are stepping out, you do hear the last of you just hear Watchman Julius. you are to give a full and truthful account. By all the lights above. Before you hear him swear. Swear that he'll do it. He doesn't start being profane.
Fuck.
I like that we all jump to the fuck. Not of all the curse words, we all jump to fuck.
It's Witcher humor, guys. Saying fuck is funny. Let's use the same joke 12 times. Anyway, as you are brought out there, do y'all do anything as you?
We have no idea how long his account is gonna take before we're let back in, do we? Does 7 come out with us?
Yeah, 7 doesn't go in.
Go over to 7.
He's just sort of like sitting there, kicked up, whittling on a knife, or whittling on like a piece of stick with a small little like knife he has.
I thought we weren't allowed to bring in weapons.
Bring it in? No, didn't bring it in. Acquired.
Right. Well, while we have a moment, thanks for talking with Adrian. Sending him my way.
He just looks up. All part of my grand plan. And then stops. Like, that was actually part of my plan. Huh. Well, you're welcome. We're going.
He told me some interesting stuff about you.
He just holds up his little shank to you. What did he tell?
Something about how the 7th son of the 7th house has free time.
Yeah, suppose they would.
Yeah. Doing
That
fun,
makes sense.
interesting stuff in the watch, doing some good out there.
Huh.
That was interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
So, just sit down next to him. Yep. But
He just like,
instead,
sort of like
hang out here.
grandiosely moves his hand. Hypothetically, of course.
Hypothetically, yeah. Don't suppose this 7th son of a 7th house or anyone that is as cool as that would know what's going to happen next in the trial.
He just looks up, looks back. Never been involved in one.
I don't know if I'm surprised enough by that.
Well, thankfully. I don't happen that often.
Are you good going?
I have no testimony to give. I've seen nothing, done nothing.
Right. Right.
Nor was I even part of the planning process for your mission. So, don't have anything done? What'd you do?
Right. Do you know who was in charge of planning our mission? Obviously, Riker. Julius too, probably. Maybe
He
not.
just looks back up and like sort of like rubs the back of his neck.
Something, you know, that can be logically deduced by bright-minded students.
He just looks and nods. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure Doran's already figured it out.
You have a smirk on my face? Okay. I suppose I'll have to go bring it up with Doran.
Look, focus on knowing what you know, not what I know. Right? If I tell you what I know, then what you know is what I know, and they know what you know that I know.
Quint is just like blinking. I think I get it. Alright.
Right, so So focus on what you know.
I don't know if what we know is good enough, though. I'm trying to find something. Some trick. Some ace. Something. Thanks, though.
He just like looks up at the sky and like sort of squints. If you wanted to run, you would have already ran.
I ain't never running from the watch. He keeps looking up, so I'm gonna look up to see if there's some fucking thing up there, I swear to God, that he's trying to allude to.
He's just squinting looking at the sun.
Okay, great. Cool.
I mean, roll an insight.
Oh, I'm feeling bad luck today. Feeling bad luck. I didn't say it was right now, though. We will get the bad luck at some point.
What's more futile than staring at the sun? Trying to convince someone of something they don't believe.
On Twitter.
On Twitter?
On Twitter.
On Twitter, shit. Okay. Well, Quint will just chill there for a little bit then.
He just tosses you over a stick and the knife. It was a little good practice.
Always the time to learn, huh?
Yeah, check it out. He slaps some cuffs on your wrist real quick before you can even react.
What? What the fuck? The cuffs lock into place and Quint's just like... Is now really the time for this?
And you see him just like stick his finger in his cheek and like pull out this small wet piece of wood in the shape of a key.
What? What? How long has that been in your mouth?
Oh no.
Okay, I'm gonna try to look at the key very intensely and try to memorize the shape of it and
Yeah,
get
you
to
see him like rotating it all around you for that very reason. It's like, you know, holding it between his index and his middle finger and like flipping it back and forth so you can see all angles of it.
I'm gonna try to cast Mage Hand to just grab the key. Because it's an invisible hand.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely grab it.
Grab it. I swear to God, if this isn't even the key to the cuffs.
Just gonna break off into cuffs.
Oh God, don't. Yeah, I'm gonna try to grab the key with Mage Hand as I'm like looking or pretending to look at the key. I guess I am looking at the key and pretending to whittle, but then just try to grab it and then just unlock myself. I don't know if there's like a deck save to pickpocket suddenly. I don't know.
Yeah, you see him just sort of like pop up at that and dust himself off as you go to put the key in. You notice the little toothpick he had is now in the lock. You just have to pull it out, but that's a method, I suppose.
I mean, if the key's right there.
If the key's right there. Now, take that as some sort of life lesson or something that you can use to help yourself in the future.
Sometimes the simple solution's the right one. Gotcha. Then I'll like look at the entryway to the trial hall. Maybe it is.
He just like dusts himself off and like starts to pace around before pulling out a pocket watch and looking at it. Few minutes. Do any of you else do anything before you're called in?
Not I.
Silence is golden. So after a few minutes, Julius steps out, and Maven follows him and ushers you in. You see, as soon as Julius steps out, he redons his mask.
Hey.
So, you are all brought back in front of this council. Left to right, why not? Lucian, Megan calls you over. Alright, Lucian, you're up first.
I step, I guess, in the middle? Is that... Like I enter and over here, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, light. Right there. Okay, for future reference, all of you, right there.
I mean, it's where Julius stood, so that makes sense.
Instruction is not followed today. Okay.
So they say the same oath as was given to Julius, and I'm not going to repeat it because that's just going to keep taking up a while.
Yeah,
Do you swear?
I swear.
Well, should I say, do you swear it on all the lights above?
Sure. Yes. Shit. Yes, sir.
Okay. As the Grand Watcher sort of peers over into your very soul, it feels like, you hear him say, "Give of your account. Everything you saw from the start of the mission to the end." Now, you don't have to do everything, but is there anything important that you would say? This is sort of y'all's chance to work in your piece to persuade them.
The most important parts would probably be related to the mission itself, or what I'm trying to persuade a hand. Fact that the main goal of the mission, when we decided to go help Fairfax, was to basically eliminate the light, or the mother, as they called it, or whatever it was. Because that was apparently brainwashing, at least to what we witnessed, the town. We were we accomplished that, but in the ensuing chaos, the darkened person that we did trust, they turned on us, which led to the release of the night creature that basically wiped the town. How we would have known that she would have done that, that was an obvious oversight on our part. And if not for the intervention of Captain Riker, then we would have probably been part of the casualties of the town.
Do you add anything else?
So, I would just recap the end of the mission, basically, how we defeated how I defeated her, and that's pretty much it.
Gotcha. Okay. You see the person in the blue look over to you. Did she lure you?
Then you mean the darkened one? Or did you mean the light?
Rosemary.
Did she lure us? I don't know if... She deceived us, for sure.
Did you
I don't
find
know.
her charming?
Not. I was very suspicious of her.
But yet you didn't
Charming.
act. Why? And you notice, as I'm doing, she cuts you off whenever she's done with you talking.
Can you repeat the line that they said when they cut me off? Because I totally didn't hear that. And she what?
But yet you didn't do anything about it. Why is that?
It was more or less more compass. As much as we knew that she was darkened, we also have people in our party that were darkened before, myself included. Seeing as we could have given them a second chance, hopefully, more lives saved is what we were trying to go for, but it was obviously a mistake. Unfortunate. Should have
And in this
interrogated her.
scenario, you thought the best thing that you could do is follow her plan exclusively, knowing she was darkened.
Tried to make a compromise, tried to make our own plan as well, but
Would you say that shows an extreme lack of judgment?
dream. Nothing about the situation is very mundane. I say it, yes, it was a mistake. But we will learn from it.
You see the other unnamed watcher, but it was your mistake. You own that.
I do. If I could go.
One could say it's a failure of training, could they not?
Training? I thought part of the training was to make us, strong physically and mentally. Having a sort of judgment in the field, it's hard to do. Especially, this is our first time. We wanted to try to do the right thing. I don't think it's a failure in training. I think it's just a failure in the going along the mission.